Enhancing your curriculum through technology, iPad tricks and tips. I'd like to present some iPad tricks and tips with accommodations to help our students who may now be finding themselves using the iPad for the majority of their work, especially those students who may have challenges with reading and writing or otherwise accessing grade-level material. The first thing I'll share is split screen. Split screen is very helpful for our students so that they can access material at the same time as they are writing or taking notes. Sometimes students forget about this option and become frustrated when trying to bounce back and forth from their writing to the content. They just need to gently drag their fingers up from the bottom of the screen to bring up the dock. They choose the app that they want to use by holding their finger on their choice and dragging that up to the main screen. They can merge the app to the left or right of the screen. They can split the screen 50-50 or 3/4 to 1/4 in either direction. Students can reference their material on one side while typing their notes and responses on the other side. Next, we'll set up talk to text or speech to text. Students will use the microphone at the bottom of their on-screen keyboard to dictate their writing. An important feature to point out is that students can speak punctuation and the appropriate character will appear on the screen: period, comma, question mark, etc. Notifications. Now that students will be working remotely, you may want to make sure that they have enabled notifications on the apps you will be using: Google Classroom, Neo, Gmail, Calendar, etc. To check these notifications, students should go to Settings, to the Notification menu on the left, and look through the list of apps on the right and check the notification settings for each one. Markup. Markup is a great way to use physical materials that you may have in your classroom for your students to work on with their iPads. Students can take a screenshot of the material sent to them through Neo or Google Classroom and then access that image from Photos. In Photos, they can use the three-dot menu to open Markup. At this point, they have several drawing tools that they can use, as well as text boxes to fill in or annotate the document. When finished, the marked up version will be saved to their photo album, which they can access from Google Classroom or Neo to send right back to you in the assignment. Predictive Text. When students use the on-screen keyboard, they will see predictive text appear above the screen. This can help some students with vocabulary, spelling, or relieve some frustration for slower typers. Students may be working more independently without the benefit of a small group or cohort to help them with things like proofreading or accessing difficult texts. Their iPads can be used to read to them, which is a great way to help proofread their work as part of their editing process in writing. To set this up, go to Settings and choose the Accessibility menu on the left. Then choose Spoken Content on the left. The first option you see to the right is Speak Selections. This allows students to highlight a selection of texts and have the iPad read it. The second option, Speak Screen, allows them to swipe down from the top of their screen with 2 fingers. This will read the entire document. Students can speed up the reading or slow it down. So if we go back to a text, they have those 2 different options. They can select and highlight a section, and they get that option to speak.
In the event of long-term closures in the Santa Barbara Unified School District, it may be necessary to provide our students with distance learning opportunities.
All right. The other option they have is to take 2 fingers and swipe from the top.
Remote Learning Guide for Teachers.
This will read the entire document.
Remote Learning Guide for Teachers.
And they can speed it up and
Teachers
slow it down
long-term closures
as they like.
Santa Barbara Unified School District. It may be necessary to provide our students with distance learning. Students with distance learning.
All right. Hopefully, this has offered some tips for you to use with your students to help them use their devices more effectively.